My name is Brad Stevens. I'm staff counsel with CCPOA, representative of the committee in this matter. This is Staley versus Jones. Two housekeeping matters. One is to advise everybody in the room. This is a recorded proceeding. If you're not going to agree to be heard, on a recording, that's your option, but this is a recorded proceeding. The record will be prepared related to this. The other issue is Mr. Jones, as the accused in this situation, or as a respondent to the Chapter 13, either an open or a closed proceeding, and seeing as there are a number of people here, I'll leave that choice to your election at this time.
It's open.
It is open. With that,
I'm Lieutenant Darnell, Folsom State Prison, Chapter Vice President.
Officer Clark, Leroy Block, Illinois State Prison, Chapter President.
Jeff Herring, Correctional Sergeant, CCWF, Supervisory Vice President.
Dan Lindsay, Chief Consul, CCPOA.
Mr. Jones, if you can state your...
Marcus Jones, Sergeant, Colonel State Prison.
And Mr. Stable.
Glen State Correctional Officer, Colonel.
Okay, as the chairperson of this committee, each party will have 30 minutes to make their presentation to the hearing committee. Mr. Staley, you have the ability to split your time for rebuttal after Mr. Jones is done. If at any time we as the committee ask questions, that's not going to affect your 30 minutes. And we as a committee have the ability to extend that 30 minutes as well. Any questions?
On Charge 1, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2A, violation of any provision of the Constitution and bylaws of CCPOA, the Constitution or bylaws of the chapter of CCPOA. The CCPOA State Board of Directors voted to send a proposed MOU out to the memberships with a recommendation. The memberships vote in favor of it. Sergeant Jones posted a letter to the KVSP membership on CCPOA letterhead and on CCPOA bulletin board encouraging them to vote against the proposal. Attachment 1A, 1B. Sergeant Jones stated in response, neither Attachment 1A or 1B are a violation of any provision of the constitutional bylaws. Sergeant Jones, being both supervisor and the KVSP chapter president, had enough influence on the members that they could easily be persuaded to go against this proposed MOU. This could have substantially harmed the interests of CCPOA and all organization's members. Sergeant Jones' credit had taken a proven track record of being influenced. For example, he rallied numerous members to attend a camp out outside our institution and also arranged a statewide protest in the front lawn of CCPOA headquarters to remove this current CCPOA president. The board of directors voted to propose the MOU, but Sergeant Jones rebelled against the decision by authoring a memo 1A and 1B. I also have some extra copies of this. I passed this off to you guys so you can follow along. No, this is actually what I'm just reading off today.
I'll put in the first so we can introduce anything to it.
Okay, that's fine. Charge 2, Chapter 13, Paragraph D. Acting in conclusion with CDCR, DPA, or an institutional management detriment to the welfare of CCPOA or its membership. Jones appointed himself and CC2 Supervisor Smith to the position of Chief Job Officer. Both Jones and Smith are supervisors and as such are prohibited by the Ralph Dills Act from performing the duties of the Chief Job Officer. Sergeant Jones refused to appoint rank and file members to these positions as a detriment to the membership. Additionally, Sergeant Jones refused to replace O. Smith as a rank and file member to the rank and file vice president position. Sergeant Jones' response stated, the charge of the conclusion does not have anything to do with the description of what is alleged that O. Smith was appointed as the Chief Job Officer. He was a Correctional Counselor 1. He is currently a limited term CC2, and while I have not removed him as a Chief Job Officer, he has not performed any further duties since he's limited term. Additionally, I did not appoint myself as a Chief Job Officer and am a Chief Job Officer due to the position as a chapter president. This charge stems from the fact that the moment O. Smith became CC2 supervisor, he is no longer able to fulfill his duties as KVSP CCPOA members. Correctional Counselor 2 supervisor is no longer an hourly employee, but a salary which their position is management. With this being said, Sergeant Jones only worked in conclusion with the management due to the fact that CC2 Supervisor Smith was making decisions that were meant for rank and file employees to make for the chapter members. But as a manager, when Sergeant Jones and CC2 Supervisor Smith was questioned about the CC2 Supervisor Smith being a supervisor in the rank and file VP position, their standard response would be, check with DPA since he's limited term and it's not a conflict of interest. It actually took a credential committee to meet formally and notify Sergeant Jones by letter that CC2 Supervisor Smith was not eligible to be in the position because Oak Smith is the Correctional Counselor 2 Supervisor. Charge 3, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2D, acting in including CDCR, EPA, and institutional management to detriment of the welfare of CCPOA or its members. Sergeant Jones is using his position as chapter president to negotiate a change of job status to a member that is running against him for chapter president. Sergeant Jones states that he contacted 2 of the 3 board members and they denied the statement that they were told. He further stated that the position was going away because CCPOA and management agreed to delete the position. When management was contacted regarding the position going away, they claimed that they had not realized before which position it was. They agreed that it was not a position that would have ordinarily been deleted, especially in comparison to jobs that were not deleted. It was also then understood that Sergeant Jones was acting in collusion with institutional management to detriment of the welfare of CCPOA and its members. After becoming aware of the politics behind the negotiation, management decided to withdraw the deleting of my position. Charge 4, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2F, refusing a deliberate failure to carry out a legal authorized direction of the State Board of Directors to the chapter in which the respondent is a part of. The CCPOA State Board of Directors voted to send the proposed MOU out to the memberships with a recommendation that the memberships voted in favor of it. Sergeant Jones posted a letter to the KVSP membership on CCPOA letterhead and on CCPOA bulletin boards, encouraging them to vote against the proposal. See the attachment 1A, 1B. Jones stated that he was just a member of the state board and did not vote to send out the tentative agreement to the memberships in which recommendation for a yes vote. And he did not encourage anything other than the knowledge of the TA and the challenge of the members to vote in their best interest. Sergeant Jones signed and distributed the memo on CCPOA letterhead and posted it on CCPOA bulletin boards, encouraging members to vote against the proposal. The title of the memo was Another Reason to Say No as a No Protection. He stated that it just cut and paste from the SACB article, but he was the person who titled the memo, not the SACB. And he was also the person who put the memo out in the memberships on CCPO letterhead and CCPOA bulletin board, encouraging them to vote against the proposal. This is an honest attempt to spread his propaganda to unseat the statewide president. He further stated, I said I will not tell members how to vote, but as your leader, you'll have to ask me what I think. The tentative agreement is fool's gold. It's worthless as it's written. It provides no protection, none. He made the choice to go against the board of directors' decision to send the TA to the memberships for a yes vote. He strongly attempted to change the membership minds to vote no at KVSP based upon his memos. Charge 5, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2H, using the name and assets, including mailing lists and the goodwill of CCPOA or the chapter in an unauthorized manner. The CCPOA State Board of Directors voted to send the proposed MOU out to the memberships with a recommendation that the memberships voted in favor of it. Sergeant Jones posted a letter on KVSP members to the KVSP memberships on CCPOA letterhead and on CCPOA bulletin board, encouraging them to vote against the proposal. Sergeant Jones stated that he did not encourage anything other than the knowledge of the tentative agreement and challenged the members to vote in their best interest. And he believes that it was his duty to inform the members of the negatives and positives of the tentative agreement, not just to recommend a yes vote. He says he routinely posted an informational memorandum in CCPOA bulletin boards, and that is the common method of information to the members. Sergeant Jones chooses to go against the board of directors to send the tentative agreement to the membership for a yes vote. He strongly attempted to sway the votes of the KVSP members no instead of yes, with the use of the memos, which were CCPOA letterhead and on the CCPOA bulletin board, encouraging them to vote against the proposal. Charge 6, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2A, choosing the name and assets, including mailing list or goodwill of CCPOA or any chapter in an unauthorized manner. Sergeant Jones published a 15-page document that admittedly used the institutional copy machine to duplicate the attack on my character and make slanderous accusations about me. Sergeant Jones has continued to use the goodwill of CCPOA by ordering board members and local chapters to hand out copies of this memo. He's using the authority of the chapter president of the goodwill of CCPOA to make personal attacks against me. By doing so, he's attaching CCPOA to the liability of his actions. Sergeant Jones admits to creating the document, but has denied utilizing board members to hand out the memos. Memos are generated by Sergeant Jones, which he openly admits to, and the board member, CEO Montano, distributed them to the memberships at KVSP. At some point, Sergeant Jones gave the memos to CEO Montano to distribute. Charge 7, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2, knowing submitting any false reports or statements to CCPOA or any chapter thereof. In a memo, Sergeant Jones wrote and distributed to KVSP members. He falsely identified CC2 Supervisor Oak Smith as a rank and file member to justify his remaining in a rank and file only position, when in reality he was a CC2 supervisor. Sergeant Jones stated that he had misspoken in regards to Oak Smith being a correctional counsel 2 supervisor and being allowed to be a rank and file president. Sergeant Jones assured many members at the institution that CC2 Smith was a CC1 acting out of class as a CC2, and because CC2 was acting out of class, Sergeant Jones was able to keep him in the rank and file position. It's difficult to believe that Sergeant Jones himself believes this because he purchased a writing pen for Oak Smith engraved on it as a promotional gift for the occasion. It could cost KVSP chapter $165. Jones did state at the local chapter meeting these funds have been reimbursed to the membership, but as yet they have not. As Sergeant Jones refused to acknowledge the fact that Oak Smith was a CC2 supervisor, it required the Credential Committee to remove CC2 Supervisor Smith from his position. Ignorance is not an excuse to get away with breaking the rule or the law. Sergeant Jones was a KVSP chapter president at the time. It's difficult to believe that Jones did not understand when an employee promotes. Furthermore, he openly admits that he had misspoken in regards to Oak Smith being a correctional counselor 2 supervisor and being allowed to be a rank and file VP. This is a direct violation, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2, Section K, only submitting a false report. Charge 8, Chapter 13, Paragraph 2M, acting in a manner such as harm substantially in the interest of CCPOA. Sergeant Jones published and distributed a 15-page memo that he immediately used the institutional copy machine to duplicate the attack on my character and make slanderous accusations about me. He immediately used the institutional machines to duplicate it. Sergeant Jones also continued to use the goodwill of CCPOA by ordering a board member in our local chapter to hand out copies of this memo. He used the authority of the chapter president and the goodwill of CCPOA to make personal attacks against me. By doing so, he's attaching CCPOA to the liabilities of his actions. Sergeant Jones stated that he stands by both his comments and statements in this document. However, he denies ordering a board member to pass it out. Sergeant Jones openly admits to generating the memo of a board member, CO Montano, handing the memo out to the membership to KVSP. So Sergeant Jones at this point handed the memos to Montano to be distributed. It cannot go unnoticed that he chooses to have a board member assist him because having a memo written by not only a supervisor but also a KVSP chapter president, then distributed by a board member, it would look and appear more official on this memo contents that would be more believable to the readers. This is a direct violation in which we also, and by doing so, CCPOA takes liabilities of the actions due to being part of the board of the directors. In conclusion, I want to reiterate that Sergeant Jones, in his official capacity as the KVSP CCPOA chapter president and a member of the board of the directors, he is held to a higher standard of his actions are representation of CCPOA. Sergeant Jones' outlandish and ignorant actions and decisions could have had a monetary impact in a negative manner with unwanted legal ramifications. I believe the membership is best to be served by removing of this negative influence. I am formally requesting that Sergeant Jones' membership with the organization be revoked.